Hey guys, so you may be wondering why I'm wearing in a Table Talk Thursday an FSU sweatshirt. Well, that's because what I want to talk about today is sports and sports tradition, and focus mainly on colleges, and I want to talk about two that I know very well, which is FSU and Notre Dame. Now, I'm sorry I haven't posted this for the whole month of November. I really didn't want to get on Facecam because I really wasn't feeling well, and this is the first week I really felt like 100% better. So, starting off, let's talk about the history of the two schools. So Notre Dame football started in 1887. Their first game was November 23rd, 1887, where they lost to Michigan 8-0. They didn't have a win. They didn't have a win until 1888, which is where they crushed Harvard Prep 20-0. And I recently went to one of the Notre Dame games, and here's a few videos and pictures.
Year and 128th football season. Here it is, the band of the Fighting Irish. The band is under the direction of Dr. Kenny John. He fights the drill to fight the government.
Now, go back to the college I graduated from, FSU. FSU's football program started in 1947. Before this, FSU was an all-girls school. They didn't have a single win that year, but they did start winning in 1948. Now, I'm talking about these two schools because I know their football traditions and what you do before you get to the game. For Notre Dame, you have Touchdown Jesus. For FSU, you have Doak Campbell Stadium and the sod cemetery. Now, anytime FSU goes to another team's home field and plays them and win, they take a little bit of the sod and they bury it in the sod cemetery. And it's actually really funny to walk right by Doak Campbell Stadium. I think it's by Gate D, if I remember, where you see the sod cemetery. It's over by the softball fields. And whenever we're playing them and they're at our field, we lay flowers on it. So the Miami game or the UF game or Boston College or Maryland, there's headstones for that sod that we lay flowers on. It's actually kind of funny. Now, also to start off the game, you have Chief Osceola and Renegade, which that's so cool to see Chief Osceola ride out with Renegade, to see him land the spear in the middle of the field, flaming, the horse rear up. It's absolutely amazing. But what's really interesting about Chief Osceola as a mascot, they have to have a 4.0 GPA to be Chief Osceola. And I find that really interesting and ironic because these are people that have to do a lot of work. It's the same thing for the Notre Dame Leprechaun. But for the Notre Dame Leprechaun, you have 4 of them. At FSU, you only have 1 Chief Osceola per year. Now, when it comes to Notre Dame Leprechaun, you also have to have, I think it's a 3.8, my brother told me, but you have to keep up your classwork, and you have to be able to do, like, flips and cheerleading moves, and it's not just simple stuff. And at the recent Notre Dame game, it was Notre Dame Navy, I got to meet one of the former leprechauns, and it was really cool to hear him talk about the excitement he had when he was a leprechaun and how he gets back into it every time he goes up there. Now, for Notre Dame, you of course have Touchdown Jesus, which is on their library, but you also have the players that come through a tunnel of people who are fans right down that tunnel right by the library, which is really cool because you get to see the players, the little kids get to give the players high fives, and it makes it more inclusive. And since my brother is up there, there's a lot of traditions that students have when it comes to football games, like Zom, instead of doing this, whenever they score a touchdown, Zom does this. And it's just simple things like that, which are really cool. Like for FSU, when we score, we have the Seminole chop, and then whenever we get a first down, we all yell about it. We also do the wave in Doak Campbell, and it's just so many different things you do. Now, another difference in traditions for FSU versus Notre Dame is how you dress. At FSU, you don't go in jeans and a t-shirt. Most of the time, girls will wear dresses with cowboy boots, even if it's like 90 degrees. We all do it, and I don't know why. We have face paint on. We have all sorts of craziness on. At Notre Dame, my brother always describes it as a lot of times the girls will wear jeans and a t-shirt and a heavy jacket if it's cold. And it's just because of the locations of the two schools and the difference, because FSU's in the south where a lot of things are more proper, and the north is where Notre Dame is located. Really funny thing, my brother recently had his senior game, and apparently at the senior game at Notre Dame, they start throwing marshmallows. So that's a tradition that they've had for a very long time. It's also a tradition at both FSU and Notre Dame tailgates to be very kind to the people that are around you. Like, you don't have somebody you don't know at either one of the tailgates, because everybody's there, they're all talking to each other, they're all mulling about, everybody's having a good time, and that's what I kind of like. So I want to hear what your guys' football traditions are. Are you a fan of college? Are you a fan of NFL? Who is your team? Tell me down below. Give me a suggestion for next week's Table Talk Thursday. Well,